What is up, YouTube? Last night I dropped a comment in Max DIYs Everything. He was doing some very good DIY repairs. He is a DIYer, but he wants to be more professional, and I want to help him be more professional. So today I said I'd do a live, and equally, guys, to anyone else that's watching, reno couples, young people trying to upgrade your property, anyone that's thinking about 1 media walls and 2 plastering. So this is our said media wall. I like to build my frame along the front, and then is all I do. So I literally using these little blocks, tie those back to some uprights, and then using a 90-degree engineer square, I can go off different bits and I can just square things up real fast. And for doing that, media walls like this go up relatively quickly. A lot of plasterers, if they were to recommend, which they don't like doing because that's their trade, and this is not my trade, I'm not a spreader, I'm not a skimmer, I'm not a proper plasterer. A proper plasterer can do sand, set, render, and understands everything, bonding, dot and dab, the lot. I am just someone that understands multi-finish and the timing game. I can get it flat, I can get a decent finish on it, and I know how to hold a trowel and I know how to get it into corners. And for that reason, I would just like, I'm not really the right person, but I want to help DIYers, because DIYers, you're with love, you're clueless, and you're just playing a guessing game. You're trying to work that trowel and you're trying to work that plasterer, and you've got no context of whether you're doing well or not. Most of you do really well. This is not me hammering DIYers plastering. This is not me trying to devalue proper spreads. This is just, I know what I'm doing. Let me share some information with you guys. So if that sounds what you like, check the rest of the channel out. Subscribe and you'll see the full video on this, which we're doing a little hyperlapse thing on at the moment. I can talk about anything and anything, but we won't do that on this live here today. So today is very, very important in your prep. Prep work is absolutely everything. I will scrim tape around sockets, any corners, any joints. I will let certain things go, certain little joints, but other joints, that shouldn't really happen. I should be more professional, but I let it go because that's the pink. So this is fire rated plasterboard, and for context, that it's going to be said fireplace, and this is cement board. Anyway, who we got here? How do you do, Aaron? Afternoon, Aaron. Here we go. So when it comes to the plastering and these skim beads, you don't really want to see it overlapped like this. Let me turn this camera around. You don't really want to see the corners like that. You want to see more perfect like that. And ideally 45, but you're being a bit OCD. But like I say, I'm not a proper spread. I'm just simply a chippy that can do all of this. It's what you don't want. Let's see if I can find one. I can't find one, mate, because I'm too good. But it's what you don't want. And I can't even do an example. It's what you don't want is like one being more proud than the other, because all that'll do is pull a line in that corner. As they are, and where they're all scrim taped up, and I've even stapled them. Can you see the staples under there? And even around here, and all of that jazz. Fix them as best as you possibly can. Because like I say, plastering is all in the prep work. You want nice, neat bits of plaster like that. You want nice, you don't even really have to be that neat, but the neater you are, the better you'll stand with a finish. You want scrim tape on the edges. Stuff like that. Some people put tape along the bottom for the chippies, but me being a chippy that has to come behind that, it's not the end of the world if you've put 2mm on the wall in multi-finish, but it does create a difference. And on top of that difference, you're then fighting, say, can you see that difference there? Well, that's the tapered edge, and I don't like tapered edge because tapered edge means I have to do all my joints and then skim the whole wall. So I've actually used square edge, and this is normal plasterboard, and in here is going to be some MDF pockets. So they'll come at a later date. Got some electrics there that's going to turn on and off a plug down the back here with a 5 amp fuse for lighting and some lovely LEDs. But let's get back to the point, Charlie. I'm here to talk about plastering. So I see my dear friend Max using white scrim tape. Scrim tape is scrim tape, it's all the same. It is. But if it's pink, you can see it on whiteboard. If it's orange, you can see it on whiteboard. And this stuff, again, this specific stuff is not the best, but this stuff, this orange one, was quite a good one. I can't remember the brand, but yeah, guys, I recommend a coloured scrim tape over the plain white, purely because, look how well you can see it. There's loads of pink in there, and I've put this mesh in here, purely because if there's any heat come off that, I don't want that to crack. And I've made a rod for my own back with putting all these pieces in really, but we're going to give it a real good skim. Aaron, the apprentice, is not with us at the minute. It's very difficult for me to stand here and skim and have him stand and watch me. So apologies to Kai, but Kai's not with me at the minute. I've got him in mind for some jobs coming up, but unfortunately a lot of my work is domestic like this, and I can't warrant someone standing and watching me and me having to pay him basically with love. But Kai is a brilliant lad, and as soon as I can use him, I'll use him. So you can imagine here, guys, TV, lovely bracket. I've measured the offset of my bracket plus the TV. We've set all our scrim beads up, and look, we scrim tape angle beads, and I scrim tape the living daylights out of everything along the ceiling line. Even bits like this that I'm going to cut back, I've even run scrim tape down there just so that when I multi-tool that off or finish that, I'm not about to go and split all the edge out. Same down there. That is going to go in there at yay height, which will then follow that. And yeah, so this is only going to be a quick live, because once I'm plastering, I'm going to do you an awesome. Let me give you a little insight. Look at that. You guys are going to get to see me and how I hold the trowel and everything, and it's going to look awesome. I'm equally going to clip that to the hawk, but if I just nip out here, top things I would recommend for a DIYer. First of all, Ox are pretty good, but they're not the best. They're not the best, guys. What you're looking for in a trowel is how much does that move. So that moves quite a lot. Very good at flattening. But this one here, I can't move at all. I'm putting a lot of pressure on that and I can barely move it. Brilliant for putting your first coat on. So I would recommend a nice steel, what is this one? Regnia, however you pronounce it. It's a little 11-inch, brilliant. And like a lot of the stuff I do, it's not big areas. So generally I don't warrant a big old 16-inch one like that. If you're going to do something like a media wall, this shows you how much I do plastering. This is going to come in clutch and is perfect for doing in there, perfect for getting in there, going up there. It's smaller, it's easier to fit in gaps, it's a lot more refined, it's more controllable. But like I say, if you're starting out for the first time, just buy yourself a simple 12 or 11-inch. Another thing that will help you guys, if you're a first-time plasterer, is buy a proper Marshalltown 14-inch big hawk. This will mean you'll spill less because you've got more of a board to run off on. So yeah, realistically, if you've got that, bucket trowel. Hold on, I'm going to do it out here. That. And that's pretty simple to have. That is like your minimum setup. you're going to need a good paddle to mix, because if you don't mix it all correctly and it all sticks around the bucket, you're just going to put lumps all over your wall. So you want to, once you've done your first cycle, your first mix, go all the way around the bucket, bang, knock it off, go in again. Again, guys, if you want to learn this, subscribe to the channel, and this is going to go on YouTube and you'll be able to learn. Bonus tools for flattening, get the biggest trail possible, or a speed skim. I can't think what way around this is now, but essentially plastic polishes it up and steel flattens it rather nicely. I think steel being cold, I think it's the steel that brings the moisture to the surface because the steel is cold, whereas plastic pushes the moisture back into the plaster and keeps it wet, but then gives it a high shine, and you don't really want a high shine. You also, I'll only briefly get this out because I probably won't even use this today, but you also get things called semi-flex, and this is a little 16, but if you look at this, no, that's not a good example. If I go to this corner, see how much I can bend that trowel? Good at the very end for polishing things right up. Another bonus thing is you can buy a twitch which goes in corners, but what you want to do is you want to cut the top corners off with a grinder and then just trim them flat. And something like this, guys, you will then push in there, push in there, push in there. But if you do this when it's too wet, i.e. if you do this at the first coat and you do it too early, you're just going to drag lines in it, and then you're really going to mess yourself out for the second coat. So I tend to not do that, and I just brush my edges up and do it with a trowel. And then sometimes in awkward areas, I can't even really think of an awkward area, but say like on a stairs, where the stairs comes down, as you get to the top, it's going to be really awkward, where the ceiling line pinches. You might just want to put that in there and then drag it flat, and you might have to do a little bit of sanding. For most spreads cases, the painter and decorator comes behind, but there we go, guys. And Max, if you've watched this entire live and you've made it this far, mate, you've done a brilliant job filling that ceiling, mate, and patching. I can't complain. Everybody does silly little patches and stuff like this, but you really don't. Like, for example, that's bad. That's bad on me. But I've filled it with that foam, because that foam's got no suction, so it won't hurt. And I've put mad amount of scrim tape on there, mate. But nicely, yeah, using that white scrim tape, mate, that was always going to fall off, because like I say, it's not very sticky. And you've got gravity against you because you was doing your ceiling. It's going to want to fall down. But yeah, mate. Other than that, mate, if you just got that, my man, as a basic kit, so like once you've done the edges or you've dropped something, I won't do it in that one, I'll have to do it in this one. You get a wet brush, and I like go down like that, and then that just peels off all my setting / damp plaster, makes a mess of the walls, makes all of this look a little dirty, but it's flat, and then we can paint it at the end. Whereas if you don't clean down your corners and you just constantly drag, you just end up with a dirty snot down that corner. Then you end up chipping it away and sanding it. And yeah, I'm going a bit deep here. Guys, scrim tape and good beads, all in the prep. The rest is easy. It's more about, if I hold this here, don't fall over. Oh, stay there. Stay there, 2 seconds. I'm going to get my hawk. Look at this. You see how I'm doing that? And I've now got one hand free. So for example, I can get off my hop up, scoop, scoop, get your trowel like you see it out there, hook it on the bucket, pick your trowel back up. And then when you come to do this, I see so many DIYers doing this or this. Stop trying to rotate this. This does nothing. If you're a proper spread, then yeah, real quick like that and a flick, you get what you want. But a proper spread, it's not about that. That is either there or there, nowhere else. If it's doing the wall, it's there. If it's getting it off the board, it's there. If it's doing the ceiling, it's there. It only ever does that. Only ever use 90 degrees of your wrist. Apart from when you're flattening off and perhaps you're going like that, and then maybe a little bit of down, a little bit of up, a little bit of down. It's what you need to do to get your gear, your multi-finish, your bonding onto this trowel to put it on the wall. Is like I say, 90 degrees, only ever 90 degrees. That goes on there, turn, stays at that pitch. You go down to the floor, you can't see me. Load up, back on the bucket, get that there. As soon as you touch the hawk tip, just keep that flat to the ceiling, all the way to the wall, into there, and as you go to longer the stroke, the better. The more consistent you can be with that, the flatter. And then once you've gone like that, and I always, because I'm holding it in this hand, I start here, and then I'm pulling across the body. I'm not trying to push it in the, because you'll just end up and being wobbly. Whereas if you were to go, you can do that in one big sweep. Guys, I'm Charlie. This is CP Carpentry, but today I've done a cheeky little live to help out a friend, Max. Max, please join the Discord. Anyone's welcome on the Discord. There's a link at the top of the channel. If you've got DIY questions, I'll happily answer. But guys, I work every day. Once I put this plaster on, I'm not talking to the camera. I'll be talking to that camera and the other camera on my thing. I'm not free to chat all day, but please, if you put a question in there, I might not answer it. Aaron, Robbo, or someone else might answer it. Another DIYer might one day be on there and be able to help you out. I'm here to help you out of sticky situations and teach you simple stuff like this. I'm not here trying to teach you how to build a house. Leave that to me. Leave the big jobs to me, and I'll teach you the little jobs so that I don't have to keep doing the little jobs. Right. Thanks for tuning in. Go subscribe to the channel. Smash the like button. Share this amongst your friends and tell all your friends about me. And if you want to learn how to do this, then you need to stay tuned for the video that's coming up. Right. I need to go and mix up some plaster, and I'm probably going to be here till late tonight. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Yes, Aaron, yeah, this is all me. Everything is me. All in-house. The carpentry, the plastering, the electrics, what? Everything's in-house. It's all good, it's all taken care of. Lovely, no copper, good continuity. We give it a good tug test. Oh, we can give it a good tug, hang on, I'll put this down. Obviously that will get fixed back, but no matter what I do to them, it's not clamped down so hard it breaks the copper. They're in there just right. They're all neatly sleeved. There's no copper exposed. All lovely, all hunky-dory. Everything's fixed. Nothing's loose. All very neat. Oh, proper way goes. Someone knows his stuff. Anyway, guys, cool electrician. I don't recommend trying electrics if you don't understand it. But yeah, all in-house. That's all I've got to say. Check out the rest of the channel. Smash a like, share it with your friends, and I better do some work. I'll see you in the next live, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.